Hey guys, Pastor Joel here for the first week of our Bible, focusing on some of the key verses, the memorization challenge. What it's going to look like is we're going to pick a verse and we're going to spend this week just in a short little video on stuff that I've been thinking about and a little devotional thought. And I hope that that would encourage you to start thinking of things of your own way, how this verse applies to your life. And I want to talk to you guys. I want to hear what's going on. So I'll be reaching out to you guys. I want to see how you're thinking through this, how you're feeling, and if you are interested in memorizing, I don't know. But this week, and so I want to be working on this with you. I'm not going to give you a challenge that I'm not going to do too. So some of these verses you'll be familiar with, as I'm a little familiar with, but I want to make sure that we're just understanding them too. So this week is Ephesians 2, 8, and 9, and 10. 3 verses. And it says, for by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not of your doing, it is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. Now, this is a very popular and very famous verse for a good reason, because it really talks about one of the more essential things that we believe as Christians, and that is it's not what we've done that makes us saved. It's not what we have to give that makes us eternity in heaven. No, what brings us salvation, what brings us joy, what brings our hearts transformation is Jesus Christ. Plain and simple, that's just what it is. And this verse really gets down to the point that it is by grace. It is not even by grace through faith. It's not even my faith, it's my faith in Jesus. And Jesus does the saving. He's the one who does the saving. And I'm placing my faith in, I know he is the only one who is capable of doing the saving. I am desperately in need of someone to save me, and Jesus is the only one who can. So therefore my faith is well placed, because he can save, as Hebrews 7:25 says, he saves to the uttermost. And that's kind of an interesting thought too, and I talked about that a couple months ago in a video. What does it look like to save to the uttermost? It's kind of the maximum, it's the ultimate, it's the point of there is nothing beyond the uttermost. Jesus is able to save wholly, perfectly, and completely, not relying on things that we do afterwards. Oh, now that you're saved, now go do more stuff to earn it. No. This is not a debt. This is not what you owe. This is not, now that you've been saved, you have to pay it back. We can't pay it back. We cannot earn it, because we have to rely on Jesus. Now, the challenge for this week is, as we think about that, how does that affect us? What does that change in my day-to-day life? Does it affect the things that I do? Do I make decisions differently knowing that I don't have to do this because I should, but because my heart desires to honor Jesus by doing this? Do I wrestle with, do I feel valuable? Does God care? Does God remember? And absolutely, because it says, for grace you've been saved through faith. And it goes on to verse 10, and it says, for we are his workmanship. That's ownership. That God has created each and every one of us uniquely. And it says that we have been created for good works, which God prepared beforehand. Now, he's not just talking about just some random time. Well, I got a new person I created that was born. Now I better create a purpose for him. No, this is beyond, I think, before time. When God knew us when he created the world and says, I know that this person will be here, and I know that here's his purpose, and I will create them very specifically and very uniquely. And yes, they will need me, and yes, they will rely upon me, but I will work great things because you are mine, is what Isaiah says. There's a lot in this verse, and we'll start to unpack it. So we'll spend some time this week, and then we'll look for another follow-up video next week as we continue on. So we have 2 weeks to work through this. Continue to go through. Remember, it's Ephesians 2, 8, 9, and 10. If you want to read through chapter 2 as well, it gives some really nice context to what's going on. It kind of explains it, makes it more of you get a deeper understanding if you guys want to dig there too. But it says, for by grace you have been saved through faith. And this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that we cannot boast, that we cannot be proud, for we are his workmanship. That's like when you make it something and you're proud of it. Created in Christ Jesus. We are a new creation. The old is gone, the new has come, is what Corinthians says. For good works which God prepared beforehand. Not a reaction to us being born, before we were born, so that we might walk in them. Live purposeful today, with Jesus in mind and Jesus on the heart, all for his glory, for his kingdom, because you are a part of it. Thanks, guys.